This will be an eventful week.
Time to blow it up.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of The Truth TV with True Fisher. Now, this Sunday, February 8th, is Super Bowl Sunday. And every year the Super Bowl comes around and everybody wonders who's going to be playing in the Super Bowl. This year, you have the Seahawks and the Patriots playing in the Super Bowl. But not only do people wonder what teams are playing in the Super Bowl, what teams will be playing in the Super Bowl, but who will also be, headlining the halftime show. Ever since the headliner was chosen as Bad Bunny last year in 2025, there have been, people upset about that decision. MAGA, to be more specific. They was upset about that decision, and they have been upset about that decision ever since. They've been punching the air, kicking the couch, and punching everything and saying everything that they could. They were saying things like he wasn't American, so why is he able to play the Super Bowl, which is an American, which is an American sport? And they even put up a petition back, back last year to get him annexed from playing the Super Bowl. And the NFL was like, no. So they are kind of, stupid in a way because I feel like them doing all of that. Now, people knew who he was already. He already had a fan base. Obviously, he was most streamed artist, I won't say like twice, like 2 years in a row at one point. So he has a fan base. You may not listen to him. I don't really listen to him, but he has a fan base out there. But you are making this big stink about him playing the Super Bowl is going to make people go and listen to his music, and it's going to make people want to tune into his performance. I think a lot of people tune into the performance just to see the bravado of it all. But, y'all doing all of this is going to make people go tune into the performance just to spite y'all. And that's just how people's minds work. Now, February 1st was the day of the Grammys, and this guy, he won, album of the year for his album Debí Tirar Más Fotos. I think I said that correctly, but and that means I should have taken more photos. He won that and made history as the first Spanish speaking album to win album of the year at the Grammys. So this guy's doing his thing, right? He he doing his thing, and y'all can't be mad at him for doing his thing. Congratulations to the man. I hope his Super Bowl halftime show actually does well. So this here is petty. This is crazy petty that they really feel a way about this man, about Bad Bunny, playing the halftime show, that they decided to put on you know, their own Super Bowl halftime show to rival his. This doesn't make sense in their mind. I don't understand how this makes sense. So we're gonna read this article by Politico about their crazy mind. Turning Point USA announces Kid Rock as rival headliner to Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show. Why Kid Rock? I have no clue. I do know why Kid Rock, because he's a supporter of Donald Trump. That's the only reason I can think. Turning Point USA announced Monday that Kid Rock will headline its alternative halftime show set to air during the Super Bowl on Sunday, rivaling Puerto Rican artist Bad Bunny's performance during the NFL's official halftime show. How many people do they think are going to watch that? Like, because it's going to be, just a few amount of people, because most people aren't gonna turn away from the halftime. I mean, turn away from the Super Bowl to watch their thing. That's just not gonna happen. But we'll see what their numbers look like. Versus Super Bowl numbers. We'll see. The counter event dubbed the All American Halftime Show is being promoted as a celebration of faith, family, and freedom, and will live stream Sunday evening across the group's social platforms. Kid Rock, a longtime supporter of Donald Trump, will be joined by country artists Brantley Gilbert, Lee Brice, and Gabby Beret. Brantley Gilbert, I don't know who that is. Lee Brice, don't know who that is, but I do know who Gabby Beret is. And how is the NFL's halftime performance? How is that not an All American halftime show? Bad Bunny is an American. Puerto Rico is a part of the United States. So I don't understand where their logic is with this. None of this is making a lot of sense to me. We're approaching this show like David and Goliath, Kid Rock said in a statement. Competing with the pro football machine and a global pop superstar is almost impossible. Or is it? It might not be impossible, but it might just be a little stupid. Or I'm not even gonna say stupid, it's petty. The announcement from Turning Point USA, founded by Charlie Kirk and helmed by his wife, Erica Kirk, after his assassination, quickly drew attention from Trump officials, including Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. You mean the War Secretary. The Department of War is what they're calling it. Who wrote, "Hey, how can we get in on this?" in a post on X following the lineup's release. Last fall, the NFL faced backlash from Trump after tapping Bad Bunny to headline the Super Bowl 60 halftime show, where the Seattle Seahawks will face off against the New England Patriots. I think it's absolutely ridiculous, Trump told Newsmax in the selection of Bad Bunny, adding that he'd never heard of the artist. So because you've never heard of the artist, that means they can't play at the Super Bowl? Sir, you haven't heard of a lot of people that play a lot of things. Like what type of country do he think this is, man? He thinks this is like a country where, he alone can make all the decisions of what people do and whatever. That's crazy. The global pop star is set to make history as the first male Latin performer to headline the iconic halftime show. He has a massive global audience and was Spotify's most streamed artist in 2025. Yeah. Bad Bunny, who recently won Album of the Year at the 2026 Grammy Awards, has been outspoken in his opposition to the Trump administration's immigration crackdown and has been branded a Trump hater by MAGA influencers. I mean, most people will be branded that. People in the country and people not from this country will be branded a Trump hater because a lot of people don't like what's going on. A lot of people don't like what he's doing. A lot of his supporters would probably be branded that too because they're not liking what he's doing. You have people that supported him based off of economic reasons that he is not addressing, and they probably are hating him right now. But that's another story for another time, another video for another time. He excluded the U.S. from his current world tour out of fear of ICE raids, potentially targeting fans, and he endorsed former Vice President Kamala Harris during the 2024 presidential campaign. I think that's a valid concern. You don't really want, ICE agents rolling up to your concerts to get your fans because let's be honest, most of his fans are, the people of his community, the people that speak his language, because most of his music is in his language. So that's a pretty good fear, a pretty decent fear to not want the, ICE agents rolling up and taking away your fans now. People don't want the Bad Bunny concert to be seen as a concert where they got taken away, the place where they got taken away, to wherever, because they started sending them people wherever. Bad Bunny reignited the political tension Sunday night at the Grammys, using his acceptance speech to condemn the nationwide immigration crackdown. Before I thank God, before I say thanks to God, I'm gonna say ice out, he said. We're not savages. We're not animals. We're not aliens. We are humans and we are Americans. The Trump administration has intensified immigration enforcement nationwide, expanding immigration and customs enforcement operations in major cities as part of a broader effort to reverse Biden-era immigration policies. The increasing raids and arrests sparked widespread protests and clashes between citizens and federal immigration agents, with some taking a violent turn, such as the shooting deaths of U.S. citizens Renee Good and Alex Pretty in Minneapolis by federal agents on separate occasions. Now, those shooting deaths of Renee Good and Alex Pretty, they are bad, and I do have my thoughts of them. My personal thoughts, and I can say thoughts that I know the black community is probably thinking, but that's another video for another time. But y'all see how petty they're being about him performing in the Super Bowl. It's just this doesn't make sense. I don't know how it makes sense to them. They are being very petty and jealous for no reason at all. So what we are seeing in real time is just how petty MAGA is being about this whole halftime performance. Me personally, I didn't think it was that deep. I didn't plan to, watch the Super Bowl performance. I probably won't even be able to watch the Super Bowl, seeing to the fact that we're supposed to have another snowstorm this weekend, and I might be at work. So I might not even be able to watch the Super Bowl. And so, but I mean, I'm probably gonna watch the Super Bowl performance just to see what he do, how he goes about it. I do like watching the show. I won't understand the music. I will say that I won't understand the music because he's supposed to be doing it in Spanish, which is there's nothing wrong with him doing it in Spanish. When they were talking about him, he shouldn't play the Super Bowls because of that. And I just thought, like, well, when our artists, here in the United States, when they go and do world tours, they're not singing their songs in the language of the country that they're in. They're singing their songs normal. So why would that be any different with somebody coming here to do a show? So that's not like a big thing for me, a big deal for me. And I really didn't think it was that big of a deal for anybody, but here we go. But here we are. MAGA, they always kind of make you think a little bit like, are these people okay? Are they okay? But I will say, best of luck to the two teams that's playing in the NFL Super Bowl. Best of luck to them, and hope old boy have a good halftime performance, and I hope you have a good experience with doing the halftime show, and I hope it's a bang out. So if y'all like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and hit the notification bell because I will be back with another video. Thanks.
The Truth TV. Subscribe, like, and comment.